Hi, Josie. And Carrie, hi.
Hello, Josie. Hello, Joe.
Hiya.
Thought I'd missed it. I got kicked out. I got kicked out the end of last week. Hello, Rodney.
Hello.
Hello.
So sorry I left abruptly at the end of the last one. I got kicked off the internet. It was really annoying.
Kicked off. That's what you get for kicking up your heels too high.
Hello, everybody.
I know.
Hi.
Hello.
So yeah. Well, we're glad that you're not kicked off yet. So don't be misbehaving or anything.
Me? Never.
He's
Yeah.
heard about you. He's heard about you, Carrie.
We're on to you. Oh, now you're frozen. Yikes. What a great picture. Does anybody
That's
get
a
like
great picture, isn't it?
a
Oh
screenshot?
gosh, I wish you could see it.
Well, we had a perfect shot of you, and I was going to do a shot, but
It's
then
wonderful.
it didn't work.
It's hopeless here. It's just hopeless.
We're having some very beautiful spring-like days this week here in Asheville, North Carolina.
Oh, nice.
Great.
Yep.
You seen any more of the bear cubs?
Nope, haven't seen the bear cubs. Just saw the mama bear and the 2 yearlings from last year that came. It's been over a week ago now. But my friend Jimmy Mack and I walking today passed a woman and her little, I don't know, about this big, white, poodly looking dog, and she said that the dog chased a bear out of their yard, a big bear.
Wow.
They think they're, most of the time, even the bears with dogs will not mess with them unless they really get up close to them or if the cubs are around. So that's always the issue.
Right.
We had snow here this afternoon and now it's coming up to -3.
Oh,
Snow where? Where are you at?
Just by the North Downs in Kent. I'm only about 35 miles from London, but it's like another world here.
Oh, no.
It was only a few flakes, though. We only had a few flakes of
well,
snow.
it's the temperature, isn't it?
I had my washing out.
Hi, Steve.
Hello, Steve. Well, I could. Hello. I was hovering over your shoulder, Josie.
Yes. Yeah, my banjo player.
Okay, one of y'all reminded me last week, and you maybe regretted it, to tell you the joke that I was thinking about, or whatever it was, an incident. But remind me tonight to tell you what I just found out about my family
Oh.
at the end of the class when everybody's on.
Oh, don't do it at the end. I might get kicked off.
Well, it'll be on the recording that I send out, so you just have to go to the end of it. Hello, Lauren.
I've missed like 4 weeks because I was out in Colorado, but I'm back in Florida now. But I've watched your recording, so it's nice to see you. Thank you.
Are those all like tags from different clogging events you've been to behind you?
Just banjo camps.
Oh, banjo camps.
Yeah, I have not yet been to a clogging academy, but I'm waiting for one. So you have to email us when you find out if there's one going to happen. So
Okay.
that'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, all the camps I was supposed to teach this summer at are not going to happen until 2022.
Well, I just heard that because I was signed up for the one at the John Campbell Folk
The Campbell Folk
School,
Yeah.
and they were going to have it with just 8 cloggers, but you had to wear 2 masks and dance at the same time. And I said, I can't do that. So.
Yeah. Well, Swannanoa Gathering, have you been there for banjo before?
Not yet, but I was supposed to go this year.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll definitely
Next
be
year.
there next year. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll see you then. So.
Yeah. They'll have let's see somebody else will probably be doing the intermediate class. I can't remember who was scheduled for this year, but.
Well, hopefully we all know how to dance by then.
Well, yeah.
So, thank you.
Trying to think of any other good dancing news. Nothing's leaping to the forefront. As far as greengrass cloggers go, boy, the list that Nick did send me, which he had already sent me, and one of y'all I can't remember who, somebody contacted him and said, Rodney says he didn't get the email. It's just me.
That was me.
Yeah, Joe did it. Yeah. So, but boy, that little picture book with all the pictures in it from a couple of years ago. So for ones of you who don't know what we're talking about, we have our good friend with 2, Nick and Claire, who came over a whole bunch of years, and I've been involved with the dancing of the greengrass clogger spawn, as I call them, from England. So, and we've been trying to track down how many teams that could probably trace their roots back to greengrass. And I think the list he gave the other day was like 96 teams.
Oh, wow.
in the UK. Some in Scotland, some in England. I don't think there's ever been a team from Ireland, but with my daughter there, maybe she'll start one. So
Great.
Oh yeah, and since last week, I can't remember, if it was last week or not, but there's been a new version of somebody taking the clip from the Fiddle Puppets from Talking Feet and putting music to it, and the clip was 21 seconds long. It's been copied and copied and copied over the last 7-8 years. So go to my webpage, you can see it. It's this young African-American woman, and the caption is, "When your white friends pick the club." And then it shows us out there clogging, but she's got some kind of hip-hop music going on. And then she starts doing a pretty good job of kind of hamming it up and clogging along with it. So it's pretty entertaining. Did we talk about this last week? Because I got another stuff with greengrass, and sometimes I get them mixed up. So, and 7 years ago, this guy somehow or another took 21 seconds out of the Talking Feet video that Mike Seeger did. And it's with me and Eileen and Amy and Eddie Carson. And they called it Techno Family, and they put techno music on it. And so it's, just like timed with our feet, making it look like we're dancing to techno music. And it just took the part of the clip where it happens to be me going from one end across in front to get on the other end of the line as we kind of rotating across. 21 seconds. So my daughter was in high school, and she texted me and said, "Dad, you've gone viral on," and she said, "on a meme, M-E-M-E, meme." And I went, "What is a meme?" I didn't even know what it was. I thought meme, so it looked like to me. So anyway, that took off, And within a year, it had been converted into just about every kind of music from every part of the world that you can imagine. It was put to Chinese music, Japanese music, every kind of drumming from Africa and from native peoples here in the United States. And that same clip just got used over and over. And at one time, it had like 200 million views on Facebook. Of course, nobody ever knew who we were because it's only 21 seconds long, and so it's that our moment of fame that never took off. So I know I've told this story to some of you before, but that's, you know, it's all you got going. That's what you have to do. So just repeat that same thing. And now it just came out again. So I haven't seen how many views this young woman's got, but it's probably one of my favorite ones. All right. So does anybody have any requests for the evening? Okay, good. Well, we're going to get started then. And no, if anybody's got anything in particular, well, let's dance some. And more people getting on. And so we're going to kind of follow. I got one new to most of you. Some of you may have done it before. Step that we're going to add to this list. And then I want to talk a little bit more about unwinding the greengrass clogger style of dancing and let the dance come to you and make it your own. That's the next thing. And then you'll be flat-footing. All right, I'm all pinned up. Lighting on. Still daylight here. Bright sunshine. Well, I think the sun maybe just went down behind the trees. The mountains, not the trees. All right, Robo, just get started with a little bit of stretching, right toe out. Make your foot as long and straight as you can. Pull your toe back to your knee. Extend that toe back out. Pull it back. And gently shake your ankle and your knees loose. Back to neutral on both feet flat on the floor. Your left toe out. Back. Back out. Back. And shake it loose. It's time. Right toe up. Circle to the right. Now back to the left. Take everything, relax the muscles. Back to neutral, left toe up, circle right. Then back the other way. Shake that loose. Step forward with your right foot. Keep your left foot firmly planted on the floor. Just try to relax all your muscles. Slide back up. Alrighty.
Getting some feedback. Is everybody muted?
Yeah, I was going to say, please mute your. I forgot. I have it right over there on the top of my list to make sure to say it every week, but sometimes I just don't do it. Okay. Let's try this again. We'll do a Rhythms of 8 to the North Carolina breakdown. Just had it playing through the speaker. All right, I'm sure it's going to work. There you go. Thank you for bearing with me. Nice and relaxed. 5, 6, and clap 8 times. Bounce. 5, 6, your right toe out. Down on 8 and bounce. 5, 6, your left toe out. Down on 8 and bounce. 5, 6, your right toe back. And your left toe back. And down and bounce. Raise up on your toes and drop your heels. Bounce. Walk back on your heels and drop your toes. And bounce. Undo. Let's just do some walking steps. 5, 6, step on the beat. Pull back. 4 basics. Pull back and walk. And basics. Pull back and walk. Basic steps. And walk. 3 basics and 3 hops. Clucking wings in front. One more time. 3 basics and your basic wagon wheels. New basics, walk the hill. Barnyard slide. 2 basics, walk the hill. Two basics. And I am going to guess for quite a few of you, that might have been pushing the edge of your speed limit. So I didn't really intend to, hope it didn't frustrate any of you, but that'll just kind of give you an idea that for especially younger musicians here in the States and folks that used to play for dancers and for green grass back in the day, that's a pretty good tempo for doing our clogging routines too. And but it was a little steppy. And so let's review the shifting from the basic step to the walking steps a couple of times. And remember that your transition foot is always going to be on your left if you start on your right foot. And for ones of you that don't feel challenged enough in this series of 5 classes, do all of these steps starting on your left foot. And if you haven't been dancing for 49 years, then maybe it won't be so stuck in your brain doing it the way you've always done it, that it might come easier to you. I was going to be real smart and show people, oh yeah, I can do that. All you got to do is do it on the other side. And I just made a big mess of it. It was a little, well, I guess I just had to eat crow, whatever all those terms are, for a minute, because I surely couldn't do it without thinking about it more. And so your basic steps, but it was a really good little exercise to start on your left foot, which will put all of these accent steps on the opposite side. But we did 4 walking steps, 8 of them, and then 4 basic steps. And so if you're going to step on your right foot, to count for the first one, but first thing that happens is you lift up and goes, and 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, put it down and leave it. Shuffle right, shuffle left, shuffle right. Now pull back and walk. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 basic steps. 2. Now put in all your other sounds if you want to. 5, 6, 7, and 8 basics. See how many sounds you can put in with your walking step. And a 1, 2, 3. Just pull back this time and cross over. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Leave it down. Shuffle right, shuffle left, shuffle right. Pull back and walk. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Reverse and touch, push, touch, push. 5, 6, 7, and walk. And a 1. It would have been the basics. So I'm still leading you and kind of orchestrating what's happening, but the sooner you can get where you can just be in a kind of a neutral space and reacting to the music as you're hearing it, and wanting to accent something that maybe the banjo player's doing or the fiddle player's doing, that's what flat-footing is all about. It's old-time improv, percussive rhythm. And that is the goal of being your own dancer, especially in these tough times when it's so hard to get together to do any kind of team dancing. So let's look at a couple of the other steps that we've covered that we didn't just do. And then we're going to go back and look at the walking step and all the sounds one time. But I want to get back to the Dudleys. And so the part about the Dudleys is, for me, is all about the angles, and it's about letting the other leg, that your non-weight bearing leg, be what helps you get to where you want to be to do the sounds of the step the Dudley. And so you're going to make both legs straight, then both are bent, then both are straight, then you change your weight. And so it's straight, bend, straight, change, straight, bend, straight, change, straight, bend, straight, change, straight, bend, straight, change. And once again, and I don't mind repeating myself because I think a lot of you are going to need to hear this, is that a lot of these steps, when you break them down and describe them, you may think that they're all even, like 1, 2, 3, 4, but in this step you can really tell it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so that's what gives it that particular sound. So you're going straight, bend, straight, change, straight, bend, straight, change, straight, bend, straight, change. Get your knee up, get that nice look to this step. I always have to do some Dudleys in honor of Dudley. And once again, if you're trying to put this together with somebody else, or you're going to keep it within the framework of kind of the Greengrass Clogger style, then you'll either want to do 2 Dudleys or 6 Dudleys because of how long the length of the step is in order to make it fit to the phrasing of the music. So keep that in mind as you are, if you ever get with somebody else and say, hey, let's put together a little duet and see what's going on. Hold on just 1 second. I thought somebody knocked on my door, but they didn't. Maybe you want to come in and take the clogging class. All right. And then we did a step called the eddies. And the eddies is 3 basic steps. And then, unlike the Earl, this time you're going to slap your foot back and hit your toe on the floor on the way back. And so you're going to go touch, drop your other heel, scuff, drop. And then basically a basic step, shuffle step, toe step. And this alternates from one side to the other. So you do 3 basic steps, and then you do these eddies on the left. And so the first one, the sound of it is touch, and then raise your right toe up and drop your right heel down. So touch, drop, scuff, drop, shuffle 1, shuffle 2. Now you're going to do it on the right foot. 3, touch, drop, scuff, drop. And the 1, 2, 3, and an eddy on the left. And the 1, 2, 3, and an eddy on the right. Another signature step of that very first routine that the Green Rust Cloggers, well, maybe it's in the second routine, but it's one of the first 2. So another little thing that we did, and I think last week was that when we did the Lone Ranger step, the Alamo step, which you're shifting from, you're basically leaving out the step part at the end. You're just doing shuffles. And so the Lone Ranger, you can do 2 basic steps and go forward and back. I think if you do it twice, it'll make it fit to the music. I'm out of context here without the group doing our routine with it. But so the Lone Ranger is shuffle, step, shuffle, step, shuffle, step, step, step. Back up. What you're going with your left foot. Shuffle, step, shuffle, step, shuffle, step, step, step. And you don't really have to go forward and back. It's just what I've been doing for so long. I'm going to say it anyway, probably if I quit trying to do it. And most of you got limited space that you're working with. So 2 basic steps, the Lone Ranger forward and back. And if you're by yourself and you want to think about it, just think of the William Tell Overture. So 2 basics, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a 1, go forward and back. Da-di-da, 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 da-da, da-di-da, da-di-da, and again, forward, da-di-da, 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 da-da, da-di-da, and 2 basic steps to the 1, forward and back. Another fun little rhythm combination. Turn this. I keep cutting my head off. Y'all probably don't care, but I'm kind of vain, so I'm going to be headless for too long. So, all right. And let's learn. Okay, before we learn another step, let's look at the walking step. And I realized last week we didn't really review it very much. I just kind of threw it out there. But for the folks that this is only their second go-round with any kind of classes before, learning, getting all those sounds in the walking step is going to be challenging. And that's the great thing about having the videos. But I want to make sure that this is on this week's so that you can hear the explanation for what's happening. And so with Robert's step, as you put one foot down, as you lift up your knee, that foot comes back. You can step, slide back, step, pull, step, pull, step, pull, step, pull. I think the hardest sound to make of the 4 sounds in the walking step is the 4th sound when you pull your toe back. And you have to get your weight up off the floor just very slightly and then try to pop your toe down as you come back. To begin with, if you're making a sliding sound, that'll be fine. Don't worry about it. But eventually, it's one of those things that's really hard to see, and it's hard to execute it. But right now you're making the 2nd and 4th sounds of the walking step. You're going 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4. And we had a discussion about which is the next easiest sound to put in. Let's put the 3rd sound in. The 3rd sound is on the heel of your opposite foot that you're stepping on, and you make that sound before you pull your foot back. And you just stuff your heel. But have your leg already in position to come down, and think about being prepared to have your toe pulled back towards your shin so that you're ready to add that first step, which we'll do in just a second. But let's do the the second, third, and fourth sounds. All right. So, and that the third sound is between stepping down and pulling back. So you're going step, heel, pull, step, heel, pull, step, heel, pull, step, heel, pull. Step, heel, pull back, step, heel, pull back, step, heel, lift, step, heel, lift, step, heel, lift, step, heel, lift. I love telling this story, but it was that first sound of the walking step that had all of Greengrass fooled when we first watched Robert Dotson dance it. And I'll go ahead and retell the part is that Robert never did it as even as we have turned it into with a fiddle puppet step. We first started using it in our routines, and then it made its way back to the Greengrass road team. And so, because Amy and Eileen are the ones that figured out that first sound. And the first sound happens when you put your foot down, you pop your toe on the floor. So you're going to go, let's leave out the third sound for right now. You're going to go touch, step, back, 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 touch, step, back. And that touch is almost like you're popping your toe down on the floor. It's almost like spanking the floor with your toe. And there's a little space there before you pull your foot back. So you're going 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, touch, step, pull, touch, step, pull, touch, step, pull, touch, step, pull, touch, step, pull. Now you're ready to put all 4 sounds in, and you're going to add, let's do the toe drop first, and we'll add the third sound in between. Nice and slow. So you're just going to step, 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 step. Now drop your toe. Pull back. Sorry. Step, pull. Now drop your toe. Touch, step, pull, touch, step, pull, touch, step. Now add your heel. Touch, toe, go, toe. It's almost too hard to say this fast. Touch, step, heel, touch, step, heel, pull, touch, step, heel, pull, touch, step, heel, pull. Drill it, drill it, drill it. I'm going to face this way so that your feet can match with what I'm doing. So you're going to walk and pull back. You're going to make the second and fourth sounds. Then you're going to put your toe down, make the first sound, and then we'll add the heel in. So just walk in 4 steps. Step, step, step. Now pull back. Step, pull, step, pull, step, pull. Now drop your toe. Touch down, back, touch down, back, touch down, back. Now add your heel. Touch down, heel back, touch down, heel back, touch down, heel back, touch down, heel back. All right? When you get to where you can dance that really even, you want those sounds to be as even as they can be to begin with, and then you have the ability to accent one of them with maybe hitting your heel harder than you're dropping your toe. Or, like I said, that last sound, you come back and step down after you go step, pull, and it hits down. That's probably the one that's the most challenging to get a distinct sound from it. So, play with it.
Rodney,
Yes.
sorry. Is it step on your toe, heel, and then pull back?
Let me get it closer to you now to see if I can hear you.
Sorry,
Again now.
I'm just trying to figure out the walking step. Is it step, heel, and then pull back on that same foot? Is it the
Yes.
same foot? Step, heel, pull, step, heel, pull, step, heel, pull, step, heel,
I
pull.
can't see you, but yeah, that sounds right. You're
Oh.
stepping on the foot, that's your weight-bearing foot. As you go to pick up the other foot so you can put it down, you scuff that heel on the way up.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, I quit worried about people learning something not exactly the same, because then you can make up a new step and put your name on it and say that that's your step. This is how I learned it, and it wasn't what Robert did. Here's what Robert did. Robert only did that pullback on one side. His step, look, this is the best I think I can do it for you right now. Okay. Ain't right. See, he would go. There you go. He all did was shuffle. And Robert's step did not fit the phrasing of the music. But since he was dancing by himself, he could adjust it anytime he wanted to. And so it was between Amy and Eileen figuring out, okay, we will never be able to put this in one of our routines and have it fit to old-time tunes that are in 32 beats or 64 beats. And if I'm saying that correctly, not being a great old-time musician. But so they evened it out. And the one that you are learning that we're calling the Robert Dotson step in his honor came from his footwork, but it was not exactly the way Robert would do it. So, sip of water, and let's do a little bit more of the walking step. Here's another challenge for the ones of you that have it down. I ask you sometimes when we're just doing the two sounds, the step, pull, step, pull, crossover, step, pull, step, pull, step, pull, step, pull. Now add your heel from here. Now see if you can add all sounds. And if you're just learning it for the first time, don't confuse yourself by trying to do the crossover. But I'm trying to think of things to do for folks that have been dancing for a long time. And then I like to play around with that rhythm. And you can leave out any one of those sounds, those four sounds that you're making for a whole walking step, and mess around with the rhythm. You can do stuff like this. Or this. So you leave out one sound and make a little pattern, or you can leave out two sounds. You got all those different choices. And when I'm flat-footing and just freestyling and not really thinking, I'm usually listening to the music and seeing if there's something I can accent by making or leaving out a sound that makes something that kind of catches your ear, because that whole thing that we did at the very beginning with the 3 hops, leaving a sound out is always a friend to you in grabbing people's attention. If you repeat something over and then suddenly leave out a sound, that'll grab folks' attention too. This is just as well as adding in extra beats, at least in my opinion. Sometimes more is less. A lot of times more is less. All right? So I think I'm going to skip my friend Hansel's. Well, we'll just go over it. Hansel was the other third traditional dancer that we ran into, and even though he was a very good flatfoot dancer, he had picked up some Broadway tap dancing, some old hoofing steps, and that's when he would get up on his toes. So try this with me again. And remember, all you're going to do is touch your toe before you put your foot down. But you're bouncing, and you're nice and limber. So you're going touch, step, touch, step, touch, step, touch, step. These are called flaps in tap dancing. And you just want to get like you're jogging in place, but up on your toes. and then touch your toe before you put your weight on it. And the amazing thing is how fast Hansel could do that and go from one to the other. I've never been able to quite have a smooth transition from, especially green grass basics to that. The other thing that we throw into my classes is another tap dance step. It's called the pitter patter. So this time you're doing it up on your toe, but you're going toe on one side, heel on the other side. So you're going toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel. And a lot of old-time flatfoot dancers that I'm going to say most of them have never seen tap dancers, but you would see them do that little last one that we did. Scoot across the floor doing that. And so once you get those sounds and have these all in your toolbox of steps that you can do, mix them up. Mix them up. Make them all yours. Make it about you being your own drummer. That's what we're getting at with flat-footing. All right? So, what I'd like to do now is to teach you one more green grass step that was in those very, very early routines. It was made up by one of the original members of the team, Jerry Lovelace, and he kind of combined. It's really a Dudley, basically. It's what it is. Here's what the step looks like. I'll do it facing this way. You got a back step. So you're going to do a back step, and then you're going to do a shuffle up into a Dudley. So it's two basic steps: shuffle right, shuffle left, and then you're going to back step. Back step, shuffle, chug, chug. Step, back step, shuffle, Dudley, Dudley. Step, back step, shuffle, Dudley, Dudley. Step, back step, shuffle, Dudley, Dudley. Leave it down. For folks that are trying this for the first time and we're dancing it in a routine, you got partners and you're moving in a formation, the end of that step and making it a nice solid ending probably is fools a lot of people, and they end up being on the wrong foot. And when we're all in lines and somebody's on the wrong foot, that's when it's the most obvious if you're team dancing. So you want to get this whole thing down. So you do two basic steps, and I usually will say two basics: shuffle right, shuffle left, back step, shuffle, chug, chug, step, back step, shuffle, Dudley, Dudley, step, back step, shuffle, Dudley, Dudley, step, back step, shuffle, Dudley. Now put it down in basics. And the 1, 2, back step, shuffle, chug, chug. Step, back step, shuffle, chug, chug. Step, back step, shuffle, chug, chug. Step, back step, shuffle, chug, chug. Down. And it's another one of green grass's steps that since the beginning of the team, we've always done them in a series of 4, but if we'd have done 6, it would have fit the music better. And this particular step is at the end of the routine, so it doesn't matter as much as some of our other precision steps do. But the good thing about it is it's got you doing some really solid Dudley steps in there, and it's well, if the audio and the video, and I can't believe a whole year has gone by here in the States, and for some of you are still going on beyond it. We're not over it yet either, but and nobody's figured out how to fix that lag between teaching on Zoom with audio and the video. That's how come I don't use music more. My favorite thing to do is be at Swannanoa Gathering or Augusta workshops or some of the other camps, and you have live musicians there. and I can be the taskmaster. I just say, play this at this tempo and start it now, play it 3 times through or whatever. And we got music continually. I have other musician friends that play for some classes, and they go, all we do is sit in there. They never ask us to play. If you're going to play for my class, you're going to be playing almost the whole time. Y'all probably surprised because you think, how can they play when he never shuts up? He just runs his mouth the whole time. So, but I figure out a way to make it work. So, one more time. Let's do the Dudleys. The Jerrys. They've got all these names. And I will go ahead and tell you, there are at least, there's one step that's called Karen's Kick. But you almost have to have a partner because there's a really big lean back for a Karen's Kick. So it makes it really hard to teach it. But for whatever reason, there hasn't been a whole lot of steps named after one of the women on the team. But it was the women on the Greengrass Cloggers that figured out so much of like Amy and Eileen figured out Robert's step and did a whole lot of choreography in the mid-'70s on forward. And then with the road team at Greengrass, it was pretty much a mutual thing for a while there. But so I want to just put a shout out to all the women in Greengrass that have made such a big impact on this group over these last 50 years. All right. So let's just review everything. And then I will do a short little demo for you, and because I want to talk to you one last thing, and that is about putting maybe some slides. And slides are kind of your own thing. You'll just have to figure them out. I don't really teach them. I can kind of show you what I do, but it's a way to like even out the end of a phrase or to accent a part of the tune. And I really like it when I put cornmeal down and slip and slide around on the floor a lot. So that's another thing. If you got a space and you got some good old southern cornmeal, if you got some that's kind of granular, not the powdery kind of cornmeal, but stone ground cornmeal, and put it down on your floor. If you got a sticky floor somewhere, and you can get by with sprinkling a little bit of cornmeal. It's been being done here in Western North Carolina for decades and decades. And you have to be careful because if you put too much down, you can end up doing some buck dancing. So be careful with that. So, all right, let's do all of the steps, and then to music, a little bit slower than what we did a while ago, and then I'll freestyle for you a little bit. All right, so you're gonna figure out how fast you're dancing. Just nice and relaxed. And bounce to the music. I'll do 3 basics and 3 hops. And a 1, 2. Hop, hop, hop. And a 1, 2, 3 hops. Now 2 basics. Bucking wings. One more of those. Now 3 basics and the Earl. Now 2 basics. Wagon wheels. walk the heel for Willie Watson. Two basics of walk the heel. Two basics of 6 Dudleys. 2, 3, 4, 5. Two basics. 6 Dudleys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 basics. Eddie on the left. Touch drop, stuff drop. And a 1, 2. And 2 basics of Jerry to the back step. Back step, shuffle, chug, chug. Do 2 more. 2 basics. Just keep doing basics. We're doing a long ranger going forward and back. All right, everybody ready? We're going to do 2 basics. Long ranger, forward and back. Again, forward and back. I think we're going to get back to the top of the music. I kind of messed that up. So, you can get too carried away trying to make those fit. And I have, in my brain, I'm thinking about the formations and stuff. So, this is more of these other steps that I've probably ever shared in a second class. And normally I will be concerned, and if I don't confuse you too much, you can go back and look at these and figure out the timing of how to make them fit to the phrasing of the music. And it's okay to dance across the phrase of the music as long as you kind of know what's happening. But to begin with, until you get really, really accustomed to improvising, I'm going to suggest that you try to make your steps fit to those 8 beats or 16 beats. It's multiples of 4, really, because everything's in 4/4 timing. All righty, let's go back and do some basic steps and the walking steps. And the reason I like throwing this in with a class it's got much different experiences as y'all do is you can do these and they're good to get you shifting from going up and down to the music to down and up to the music. And for folks that have been dancing a longer time, you can just make it more challenging by trying to put in all the sounds. And if that's not challenging enough to you, go ahead and do the crossovers and all the sounds. All right? That's a thumbs up because I know you can do it. All righty. So we're going to do 4 basic steps, and then we are going to do the walking steps with however many sounds you want to do. So 5, 6, 7, 8, and a 1, 2, 3, pull back and walk, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put it down and shuffle. 1, 2, 3. Cross over, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a 1. You're going to do 3 hops. 2, 3 hops. Pull back and walk, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and basics. 1, 2. You're going to do the Earl. 3, scuff, pull back and walk. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a 1, 2, 3 hops. Pull back, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a 1, 2, 3 hops. Add sounds. Basics. 2, 3 hops. Hop, 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 and walk. 2, 3. All right. Just have fun. Fool around with it. Mess around. And try some improvising. So I'm going to put on, well, let's see. Looking at the time, we've got plenty of time. I was afraid I wasn't going to get everything in there. Well, I know what we can do. When we were doing some of the other parts of the walking step, I'll say the other parts, but just look at that crossover when you're going and step, pull, step, heel, pull, step, heel, pull, step, heel, pull. If you haven't figured it out, that's all that's happening. You're hitting your heel as you swing your foot around. Step, heel, pull, step, heel, pull, step, heel, pull, step, heel, pull, step, heel, pull. But as the music speeds up, you don't have room or time to do those big leg movements. You have to keep everything nice and close together and right underneath your feet. And now I know what I was going to say a while ago is this shuffle chug thing that we talked about. A couple of dancers used to come to Swananoa Gathering, swore up and down that they both claim they make this step up, and it's this one. All right? And so you're shuffling with your right foot, and if your left leg is giving out, chugging on it, you can just drop your heel. All right? So you're going shuffle, drop, shuffle, drop, shuffle, drop, shuffle, change. Now you're going to do it on the other side. Shuffle, drop, shuffle, drop, shuffle, drop, shuffle, change. So it gets you to go from one side to the other. You can do it in place, but if you want to add it to your freestyle or your improvising, then when you're going across the floor, go, and then you put your foot down, you go back the other way. And if you're doing it on your own, you can do 6 of them. Or if you want to dance across the phrase of the music, you can do 5. It's all up to you. So let's do 2 basic steps and do some of those shuffle chugs. That's what I'm going to call it. So 2 basics, nice and slow. You're going to shuffle chug on your right foot first. Shuffle right, shuffle left, shuffle chug. And a 1, 2, 3, put it down. And a 1, 2, 3, put it down. And a 1, 2, 3, put it down. And a 1, 3, and step. 1, 2, 3, and step. And a 1, 2, 3, and step. And a 1, 3, and step. Takes that step, you really put a lot of wear and tear on your weight-bearing leg, or you're chugging with all your weight going forward, and then you got to pull it back. So dance light on your feet as you can, and boy, keep your eye on the Greengrass Clogger website and my website. I'll be trying to steer people there as we work towards Chad Smith and Leanne Smith, who are no kin, but both danced with the Greenville team down in Greenville, North Carolina, and they're the ones that's working on this 2-hour documentary of the history of Greengrass. And so you'll see a lot of these steps that you've learned here in this workshop, and that'll be coming out in a few months. But we're definitely going to have it before the 50th anniversary reunion on the 3rd weekend in September at the Hoppin' John Festival. We're going to keep saying it because it's going to, that way maybe it'll make sure it happens. But I'm hopeful, we're also hopeful that we will be able to dance there unmasked. All right, I'm going to dance a little bit and just show you for just a minute or two what I like doing when I'm not having to think too much. And that's easy for me not to think too much. I'm going to put it up to normal tempo, and I will kind of improv some of the slides that I like using. All right. Anyone think up? Let's have play that same tune at that tempo, and let all of you just try doing anything you want. And realize that I'm the only one that anybody can see. So just have at it. Don't think about it that much. And channel Robert and Willard and Hansel and Dudley as you do these steps with us. Well, and bounce. We're going to do 3 basics and 3 hops. 5, 6, and shuffle right. And 1, 3 hops. 3 hops. 3 basics and the Earl. Do the Earl again. Do a big leap in the air. Thank you all so much. You sure made these well, you sure made these last few weeks of my quarantine a whole lot more easy to bear. And last night was the first night I was able to have a little cookout with 3 of my favorite dancing friends, Hump Millette, who was still dancing with Greengrass, and one person and her husband, who some of you know, Joan and Ken Cope. And Joan used to dance with, oh my gosh.
Roughshod.
Yeah, but I'm talking about also her partner. They had like a little duet name too. But anyway, and also was over in England for a while. So yeah, thank you all so much. It's Such a pleasure, and I want to thank you for your generosity. And as I said, share these dances, share these steps with as many people as you can, and keep this tradition going and living as long as we can. And then I mentioned to a few folks at the beginning, I've been up at our farm in Madison County, getting rid of a whole bunch of stuff that never got moved out of that old farmhouse, and ran across a little notebook that my older second cousin, who was my 7th grade school teacher also, her name was Margaret Outlaw Sutton. And so Outlaw is an old English name, and that's a part of one side of my family on my dad's side, but the Sutton name definitely is. And she wrote out George Sutton. He's the oldest or the furthest back of our family tree that's been able to be traced. And this is what she said. George Sutton of Tinterdorn, Kent, England, left in the ship Hercules and landed in Boston, Massachusetts in the year 1634. He first settled, and I don't know how to, her handwriting, even though she was a 7th grade teacher, let's see, Situate. That's where he landed in Massachusetts. Skitui? I don't know how they would pronounce it. In Massachusetts.
Situate.
Situate. That sounds
Situate.
right. Is that still there?
Yeah.
Situate. That makes sense. Anyway, and he had a brother Simon. Nothing seems to be known of him, so they don't know what happened to Simon. George died in Perquimans County, North Carolina, where he had moved to about 1668. And the interesting thing is that's not too far, just a county or two over from where I grew up in eastern North Carolina. But he moved there in 1668, but it seems that all of his children stayed up in Massachusetts. And they did not start moving down to where he was until a few generations later. But as they acquired that property, they ended up more of them moving down there. But I just thought it's pretty cool that he was from, and let's see if I can spell this, because it says Kent, England. And it's Tenterdon.
It's Tenterton.
Tenterton.
Very close to where I live and where my mother's family grew up.
That's pretty cool.
Really close.
1634. Oh my gosh, he left home. And you know the boat that he rode on, the boat that he came in on. So, anybody have any comments, questions?
It's been fun.
Oh, good. Yeah, it sure has been. Thank you all for participating and inspiring me to get out and get moving. I'm going to be able to do some traveling. While I was saying this last night, it's the first time that all of 3 other friends, all totally vaccinated, passed our 2-week period from our second shot, and gathered out on my deck and had a little cookout, and were able to hug each other. And we didn't even know how to act without a mask on. It's like you still feel like you're like, I need to put that back on. But it's I especially hope for you folks over across the big pond, and it happens sooner than later. And for the ones of us here in the States, it looks like they're just going to be vaccinating everybody here in Western North Carolina. And it depends on the states, but most everybody is available for vaccines, and there seems to be plenty of it. So y'all stay safe and well, and save up your money and come to Swannanoa in 2022.
Give us a bear cub update before you go.
What's that?
Give us a bear cub update before you go. Those triplet bear
the cub update. I said it earlier. I haven't seen the baby cubs since that day I took that picture that's on my website, the 3 little ones.
Oh, that
We
was
did have a
awesome.
visit from a mama bear and 2 yearling cubs from last year, and they are so big, and they're just like right off the deck right here, down on the ground, rolling around and playing for my friend Cherie, who is another early green grass cloggers. And I keep finding out of all these green grass cloggers that had clogging teams that I never knew about. Cherie had a clogging team in Chicago. She had one in Lexington, Virginia. A lot of them just did a few local gigs and maybe lasted a year or so, but they were out there dancing. And so I'm trying to come up with all of those names. So, and that list from you folks over across the, over in England sure helped with this little research project. So great seeing you. Great getting to know you on Zoom. And I'm hoping to see, I know I'll see Graham and Steve around. And David, you're on this side of the lake. So a couple other folks are too. So once we get out, if any of you ever go to the Clifftop Music Festival in Clifftop, West Virginia, there is still a really big hope that might take place. I might have mentioned that they asked. And if they do, then there's a big chance that Greengrass will get to do sessions of the old masters sessions and teacher workshops and call some dances. So we're very hopeful.
When are they considering having Cliff Top?
The Clifftop is always the first full weekend in August, but it starts the weekend before. But the official festival is the first Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of August. Or maybe it's the first Friday, Saturday of August. But anyway, it's kind of weird because people go and stay for 10 days. And the first part is just camping and playing music. There's no organized activities. So the Thursday night square dance kind of kicks off the organized stuff. And then they have a square dance every night. And then the band contest. But there's all kinds of shenanigans going on. And a lot of CD release parties that happen during that early part of the week. And always a big Cajun jam on Tuesday nights. Yes, there's Cajun music in West Virginia. So.
2 years ago, that's where I first laid eyes on you.
Where? The Clifftop?
Yeah. You were doing one of your little demos.
Yep, I'd still get there and those free workshops that are, underneath that little pavilion are one of my favorite things to do. So, yep, come join us if you can.
Thank you, Rodney, very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much, and stay well, everyone.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you.
Bye.
Thank you, Rodney.
Thank you
very
very
much.
Keep well, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.